What is going on, everyone? Hello and welcome to the Graveyard Shift. I am your host, Tyler DeSena, and today we're talking about the state of Red Bull racing. Sergio Perez, no longer in Formula One. He's being replaced by Liam Lawson and not Yuki Tsunoda. What's going on there? And what's going on with Isack Hadjar, who has now been promoted to RB from Formula 2? I'm going to break all of that down and what I think Red Bull's plan is going forward. And to do that, we first have to address the elephant in the room, which is Yuki Tsunoda not getting that seat and Liam Lawson being promoted to Red Bull's primary team, while Tsunoda will stay at RB. And I want to break down a couple reasons why I think that is. First off, I really do think that Red Bull wants somebody that they can mold not only as a driver, but also as a teammate to Max Verstappen in every possible way. Part of what made Checo work so well, at least on paper, was the fact that he wasn't really competing with Max despite being his teammate and being in a great car. On paper, you have Max, who's going to fight for your race wins, fight for your podiums, and then you also have Checo, who is willing to sit back, eat up the points that he's able to get, and then hopefully lead you to a Constructors' Championship. We know that this didn't work well as of late, considering the fact that Checo had many very poor finishes, times where he was outside the points, and that was a very large reason that despite Max Verstappen winning the Drivers' Championship in 2024, Red Bull did not even come in the top two when it came to the Constructors. And the thing with Yuki Tsunoda is that when you describe Sergio Perez and the breed of driver that he is, Yuki is pretty much the opposite. He is a hyper-competitive driver who sometimes lets that get the best of him. I remember specifically the first race of the season, him dive-bombing Daniel Ricciardo on the cooldown lap because he was unhappy with team orders. And if you're unhappy being second fiddle, how is that going to translate when you're playing alongside the best driver in the world? But we can't just break down why Yuki Tsunoda isn't the best fit. We have to discuss why Liam Lawson was the guy that Red Bull went with. And it really starts with the idea that he is very much more a moldable prospect. He is somebody who only has 11 races under his belt compared to Yuki Tsunoda's 90 starts in Formula One. And along with that, he's 2 years younger than Yuki Tsunoda is. So in an ideal world, the idea that Liam Lawson has started 79 less races than Yuki Tsunoda gives him time to develop his own driving style, which they're hoping can mold in line with Max Verstappen's, which multiple drivers have called abrasive and unique, compared it to Michael Schumacher. And Alex Albon even said this, looking back on his time when he was teammates with Max Verstappen. He was on the High Performance podcast and said this: everyone has a driving style. I would say my driving style is a bit more on the smooth side, but I like a car that has a good front end, so quite sharp, quite direct. Max does too, but it's a different level of sharp and direct. It's eye-wateringly sharp. So again, on paper, this is all conjecture, somebody like Liam Lawson coming in, understanding he's the number two, being less competitive than Yuki Tsunoda, he can be what Sergio Perez wasn't towards the later stages of his Red Bull career, which is somebody who can develop over time and eventually take those second, third, fourth, fifth place finishes and getting points, but understanding that he's still behind the best driver in the world like Verstappen and not racing him and potentially causing turmoil within the team. And moving on to what could be the most interesting part of this, lastly, is the fact that Isack Hadjar now has a seat in Formula One. Obviously, with Liam Lawson moving up, Checo Perez moving out, there was an open seat with RB, and it's being taken up by Isack Hadjar, who finished second in the World Championships of F2 last year. And I'm a little excited for this, not only because I have his card sitting right in front of me, this Future Stars F1 Topps Chrome, but also the fact that he is a really interesting driver. Like I said, finished second in the championship. He's only 20 years old, and in an interview with Racer.com, Christian Horner was raving about him. He said, Isack, he's another driver. He jumped in the car, and he was faster than Yuki in the test last week, which turned heads. This was Horner discussing, obviously, the post-season testing that Red Bull has had, and he also said he's definitely a raw talent. He needs a little bit of polishing, but he has the speed. And that's something that personally really excites me, because having more young drivers on the grid is extremely exciting. I know, with the unknown and the fact that there could be crashes early on in the season, there could be a lot of guys who are DNFing from races, but down the line, we could be looking at the next wave of Formula One in this rookie class, the same way that we looked back and saw Alex Albon, George Russell, and Lando Norris come out in their rookie class and now become three of the better drivers on the grid. that's about it. It's going to be an extremely exciting Formula One season. We have so many new young drivers, and I really wanted to break down Red Bull because having a feeder team is already extremely interesting, and then the moves that they've made this offseason make it even more exciting. If you really liked this video, make sure you comment what you think about Red Bull or even your favorite team, and then on top of that, please hit that subscribe button. It's very important to me. This was Tyler representing the Graveyard Shift, and I'm out. Peace.